Hello! Today I have a very special video for you. I am going to be showing you my collected works of Hayao Miyazaki box set. It is a box set of all of his films on Blu-ray. I'm going to go through these films with you and tell you what I think of them, and also even show you a few other Studio Ghibli films that I have that aren't directed by him. You may have noticed my shirt. It's a Totoro shirt. Woo! Oh, yes. Still smells new. That's what this box does. It preserves them. This specific set isn't sold anymore, and you won't be able to find it easily unless you find it secondhand. You can find it with a different packaging that features all the same movies and the same discs, just not this packaging, which is the one I prefer because it's very solid and just beautifully presented. Miyazaki's first film was called Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro. This one here is not a Studio Ghibli film. Studio Ghibli wasn't founded until a few years later, but this one is a part of a series or a franchise of films and a show. I'm not quite familiar with it. This film is great. However, it probably isn't as good as most of his other films. It doesn't feature a lot of the personal themes that come into his films later on, but it's still a great watch and I recommend it. His second film was a film called Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. This one is a beautiful film and one of the best ones, one of my favorite ones. It really is a Miyazaki film. It features a lot of the environmental themes and the steampunk elements that we grow fond of with his films. And I highly recommend this one. This is the one that really made me fall in love with Studio Ghibli as a whole. Laputa, Castle in the Sky. This one is the first Studio Ghibli film officially. Maybe my favorite film of the whole lot. It is so fun to watch and really quite emotional as well, and it doesn't look like it tries to be emotional. This is the film that I cried in. Yes, I cried in this film multiple times and it is fantastic. The voice cast is really good, and you'll find that the English voice cast for this is passable, especially Mark Hamill's role, where he plays the villain. However, I would still recommend seeing the Japanese dub, as I would with most of these films. His next film is the classic My Neighbor Totoro. And of course, it features the iconic Totoro that we've come to love. This film is fantastic, and I feel as though this one is Miyazaki's most personal film. It features a lot of elements that were from his own childhood, including the situation with his mother that is featured in this film. You could say this is a children's film, however, it is made, I feel, to be very nostalgic of childhood, and it feels like it's made by someone who's looking back on childhood and observing it. Watching it as an adult, I feel you get this vibe quite strongly. It's Kiki's Delivery Service. This one I believe is also very suitable for kids. It is very fun-loving, adventurous, and it's just got a cool-as plot as well. I mean, it's a witch that delivers bakery goods, amongst many other things that the film has to offer. This isn't one of his best films, but it is still brilliant, and it just goes to show that even his lesser films are still great. The next one is Porco Rosso. Funny name. It's about a pig that flies. Just got it. As you may have noticed, this is another one that features the theme of flight and flying, and I feel like Miyazaki is really connected to this concept. I do recommend you watch the Japanese version because the English version changes some of the dialogue around and therefore changes some of the context of the characters in the story. Also, the performance of the main character, who's played by Michael Keaton, I feel doesn't quite nail it quite right, and it is quite different to the original intention of the director. So watch the Japanese version. Princess Mononoke. This movie is fantastic. This one is a masterpiece. And I would say there might be one or two other ones in this set, or maybe three others in this set that are masterpieces as well. This one could be my favorite along with Castle in the Sky. Strongly recommend it. Although, watch the Japanese version, not the English dub. Once again, the English dub changes the context of the story in the film. The performances of the English-speaking actors in this film, especially Billy Bob Thornton's character, really changed the tone of the character himself, and he sounds very different and performs quite differently, and therefore losing the original vision of the director himself. Spirited Away. This one is the most popular one of the Studio Ghibli films, and it is a beautiful film. A lot of people would consider it a masterpiece. It's not my favorite film of the collection, but I can see where the passion for it comes from, and it is especially beautiful on Blu-ray, as all these films are. Howl's Moving Castle. This is a beautiful film. I love this film. I do recommend watching the Japanese version of this film. The English version is not too bad though. So if you really do need to watch it in English, then I permit you to do so. Billy Crystal's involvement in this film is especially awesome as he plays one of the characters, and I love his role in it. It's my favorite voice performance in this one. Ponyo. Unfortunately, this is probably my least favorite film of all of the Miyazaki films. However, it is a beautiful film to watch, possibly the most beautiful film out of all these ones. It's gorgeous, and the soundtrack is also possibly the most beautiful soundtrack. Please don't watch the English dub of this. It is not good. The kids come off just as annoying kids to me in that version, and the Japanese version is a lot better, although, you know, the kids still come off a little bit annoying, but not as much. The Wind Rises. This one, I feel, is Miyazaki's most personal and most experimental film. I do recommend it if you're interested in his work. However, otherwise you may not like this film that much. It's about a man who dreams of designing and flying aeroplanes, and obviously just that alone is a very personal concept for Miyazaki, and it is an interesting film. The final disc in the set here is a disc that features a short film of his and also a few episodes of a TV show called Little Samurai that he did the storyboarding work for. Also in this disc is a press conference that features Miyazaki officially retiring. But has he officially retired? I don't think so. He has another film in production at the moment, so let's just hope. Another beautiful part of this set is a little booklet that comes with the set that features some writings from Miyazaki, along with some information on each of the films. With this, I don't know what's in here. Postcards. Yes, you get some postcards with it too. How lovely. So that is the Miyazaki Blu-ray box set. So these are some of my other Studio Ghibli films. I would have to recommend all of these films. Arriety, of course, brilliant. Grave of the Fireflies, this one is fantastic. It is so very depressing, but beautiful as well. I highly recommend this one. It's about two children who survived the bombing in Japan during World War II. Only Yesterday. This one is another beautiful film that features no villains or any major conflicts. And it's a very just lovely, relaxing movie. I must also recommend the English audio dub. There's some fantastic actors here Daisy Ridley plays the main girl in this film, and I feel as though she does a beautiful job. Whisper of the Heart. This is sort of like a rom-com film, and it is fantastic. The Tale of Princess Kaguya. This one has a very interesting animation style. It looks almost like the film is drawn on paper, and it is very beautiful, especially on Blu-ray, as with all of them. And I highly recommend this film. Watch the Japanese version. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this makes you go and watch all of these films. Most of them are fantastic. I really love these films. They're very close to my heart. Please like and subscribe and comment as well, and tell me about some of these films that you've seen and how much you love them and how beautiful they are. Thanks for watching. Long live film.